So I just emptied out my monthly beauty basket from last month, and I thought we could go ahead and rebuild one for this month. So I did actually make a list, well, not a list, but I made a video schedule of what I plan on trying out and doing for videos this month. So I want to make sure that I have everything for my videos in the beauty basket. So that's like number one priority. And then if you haven't watched any of these videos that I do each month, essentially I have a couple of priorities that I put into my monthly basket. So one of which is like what I'm doing videos around. Sometimes I like to put things in that are seasonally appropriate, especially since I'm trying to downsize my makeup collection. I put things in there that I would typically only wear this season. I'm a little bit more pale now, so I'm going to put in like my paler foundations and things like that. That way I can kind of test them out and use them during the month and decide whether or not I want to keep them. So I'll typically like hold on to makeup products because I'll be like, oh, this is perfect for summer, this is perfect for spring. And then when summer and spring roll around, I'm gonna pull them out, I'm gonna test them, and then if I don't like them, I'm gonna get rid of them. So first, I'm gonna start off by showing you the things I am getting rid of this month. So I've just loaded all of the products in here, and you'll notice that there are a lot of things like in similar categories because I literally just went through and I'm like, okay, like this doesn't work for me, I'm gonna get rid of these. And sometimes I'll kind of get like a wild hair. I don't know if that's a thing that people say or if I'm just making up sayings in my head, but sometimes I'll just kind of get it in my mind that, you know what, I'm not going to use these types of products, I need to get rid of them. So the first thing I want to talk about are sorts of like shimmer, sorts of shadows. I did keep some, but some of these, I'm like, they're a lot of the same thing. That's actually, it's pretty, but I wasn't using it. I have other things that kind of give, you know, a similar look. So anyway, I went through and I just kind of like decided to keep the ones that felt more special to me. So let me hurry up and gather up all of these cream shadow products, and I'll kind of go through and explain to you what I didn't like about them. And maybe saying what I didn't like is a little too harsh. Maybe just I had other things that I liked better, or they just didn't work for me. So the first thing I want to mention are these Smashbox Always On Cream Shadows. So I actually love these. I did keep a couple shades, but there are two shades I wanted to get rid of. And this one, I think it's from like a Marvel movie or something, and it's called Bloodsport. And I just had another shade within the line that was super similar to this. And I didn't need one that similar because literally the tiniest amount goes such a long way. The colors are super vivid. These are waterproof. They do not come off. They do not budge. These are amazing. It's just that I know I'm not going to use this shade. And then I also had the shade Olive, and it's just a little too green, a little too olive. Here it is. And I just felt like it's a little too pea green for me. But again, it's a lovely product, and they're essentially like almost new. Like I bought them and I've swatched them. They haven't been used a whole lot, and I think I can pass them on to somebody and they'll get like a ton of use out of them. The last declutter that I did, a bunch of my girlfriends and I got together for like a game night, and we all made like charcuterie boards and things like that. Got together, had game night, and I had like several boxes of makeup for them to go through. And then one of the girls is a high school basketball coach, and so what we ended up, nobody wanted from those boxes, she was able to then take them to those high school girls, and they all like picked through it and had a great time doing that. So I think that really worked out. So then I was going through some of my nude sticks items, and this first one right here is in the shade Cocoa, and it's a deep sort of smudgy brown. I have other smudgy browns like this, and I'm not going to be able to get through them all. It's beautiful, but I'm just going to go ahead and pass it on. And then I have this called Rustic Grotto, and this just leans a little too like kind of like red for me. Again, it doesn't go well with my complexion. It just kind of like overwhelms my face. And then this one in Freya, I don't know how you say that, but this one goes, again, you can kind of see a little bit blotchy. I don't know if you can see that, but it's slightly blotchy and it goes a little bit orangey yellow and just doesn't look quite right on me. And I think it's supposed to be kind of more of like a topper shade. It just doesn't look quite right on me. So that one's going. During the whole Black Friday thing, I got some stuff from Huda that I wanted to try. Again, kind of like an orangey, coppery sort of glitter shade. Not going to use that. And then these both lean a little bit pink. So I've only swatched them, but I thought I will go ahead and pass these on. Upon first glance, you might even think that it's like a liquid lipstick, but it's not. It's just a pink sort of eyeshadow, and pink eyeshadows do not look good on me. So then I have these. So two are from Stila. I did keep the one in Kitten, but I'm getting rid of Starlight and Grace because the shades aren't quite right for me. And this is from Koki, and this is called their Crystal Fusion. These are relatively affordable. I get them at Rite Aid, or I bought this one at Rite Aid. But this shade is actually similar to the Chanel one that I have and that I'm keeping and that I prefer. So I thought somebody else could get good use out of that. And then this right here is Pink Velvet by Beauty Pie. They changed their packaging. I don't even know if they have this shade anymore, but you can kind of see it's starting to dry out. I pulled that out and it kind of just like shot out of there. And these older ones are starting to get a little bit gummy. So I just thought I would go ahead and get rid of that one. This is probably just going to go in the trash. And then this one is the new packaging, but it's in Copper Teeny. And the shade, again, is just a little too much for me. Like, I'm not going to wear that bronze that deep of an eye. So passing that one on. This is from a limited edition Christmas trio pack that they had, not this Christmas, but the Christmas before. And this is the shade Rosentine. I don't do pinks, so going to go ahead and get rid of that. And then my friend Michelle, who's on Instagram, she doesn't do YouTube videos, but her Instagram is like personal life stuff plus some beauty content, and she's very honest with her beauty content if you're looking for a regular everyday person with some honesty. She doesn't do affiliate links, none of that. Any affiliate link that she shares a lot of the time is actually mine. So she does not do anything to try to gain any money or anything. But anyway, she sent this to me and I had never even heard of this brand. This is Gen C in the shade Bronze Age. Here's the thing. The formula of this is gorgeous. And I'll just swipe a little bit here on my hand. It's just the coloring. It's just too much for my complexion. But the way it blends out, if they had more subdued shades, I might be all over this. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think this would be great for somebody who has a warmer skin tone, possibly like blue or green eyes. This is gonna look gorgeous on them. Just not really a good shade for me. So I started to film a video talking about these new Revolution things, and then I just decided not to like put the video up. But essentially Revolution, which is like a cheaper sort of like knockoff brand, you could definitely tell that they're trying to dupe the Jones Road Beauty Miracle Balms, like very similar. So I was gonna do a whole video, and I did film the video, but essentially the formulas are completely different. This is more of like a lip balm formula, and this is more like one of those solid lip gloss formulas. And it made my face so much stickier than the Jones Road does. And Jones Road still makes it sticky, but like this was like on a whole other level. Like if I were to move my head, like my hair was just stuck to my face. And all the shades tend to be more of like the blush shades anyway. So they're not even as versatile as the Jones Road. But as I was like filming that video, I decided to declutter two more of my Jones Road, which I'm decluttering those by the way, but I'm also decluttering the Jones Road one in Flushed, just because like I have cream blushes that I absolutely love. That would be the only purpose of this, and it doesn't even perform as well as cream blushes that I have. And then Magic Hour, kind of the same thing. The whole idea would be to be a highlighter, but I have highlighters that perform better and don't make my face sticky and don't break down the makeup underneath them. So These I'm just gonna pass on to maybe somebody else who might be interested in those. Okay, so while we're talking about blushes and highlighters, I did manage to go through my cream blush drawer, and which is where also I keep my highlighters and bronzers that are cream. And I did manage to actually get rid of a few things. So these two nude sticks products. This first one is the shade Picante, which is the shade that Alana Davison came out with. And it looks lovely on her, but again, I'm a desaturated person. I don't have a ton of color in my skin, and putting this bright neon orange on my skin tone just looks crazy. I couldn't get it to work for me. I wish I could because it looks so great on her, but this just doesn't work for me. And then this one also in the shade Illuminati, which is their highlighter. This is kind of like one of those sorts of clear ones with like a pink, almost like a pinky peach sort of shift. Very pretty, but it's sticky, and it's kind of like, I mean, it has that glossy texture, but it's like sticky, and it kind of like, if you put it on like and swipe it on, it pulls the makeup on under it. It pulls the makeup under it off the skin, or if you try to be, you know, and just kind of like dab it on, you still have the chance of possibly pulling off what's underneath. Words are coming hard today. Either way, not for me. These products though were made for people who are more minimalistic. So maybe if I just had on like maybe a little bit of tinted moisturizer or like no foundation at all, and I just wanted to add a little bit of glow, this would work. But I have so many other highlighters I could still do that with that I don't have to like make as many concessions for. Then this from Rowan, I said during my last beauty box or whatever that I wanted to try this out while it was still relatively new, and then that way I could pass it on. It's fine, but I mean, it's nothing special. I have other things that do the same thing, and while this is still relatively new, I thought I would sanitize and pass on. So I used to have the full size of this a long time ago. This is the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer, and I loved it. And now I got like this little like small size of it, and I got it, and it kind of leaves like a white cast on my skin when using it, and I just think that my preferences have changed. So here it is there. It just doesn't look right on me. And I know that they've come out with other shades, but I think if this leaned a little bit more beige, I would be cool with it, but it's just not working for me now. Rose Inc came out with some highlighters probably in this last year, and this is the shade Prismatic. First thing I want to mention is that this formula is much drier than their blush formula, but this shade in particular is very gold. It's like a beigey sort of gold, and again, it just does not look right on my complexion. And then we are into some cream blushes. So I'm a little bit disappointed about these, but Milk Makeup came out with like this holiday kit for like $25, and you could try some of their blushes. So I got that holiday kit. I only ended up keeping one out of the 4 shades, which just goes to show me that maybe I shouldn't do holiday kits like that, that maybe I should just pick one full size shade. Either way, I'm getting rid of 4 of the shades in that kit. The other annoying thing about the kit is they had like a little dome over the products to kind of like protect them inside. And I tried to pull the dome off, but the blush was fused to the product and it just pulled the whole end off. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but like it just pulled the whole end of it off. Let's see, I think the dome is still on this one. Is it gonna, is this one okay? Let me see if I can get it. Okay, yeah, you could see it fused a little bit to this one, but yeah, the dome actually had that other shade in it and it just like pulled it out. But either way, I'm gonna pass these on to somebody that they might be better suited for. None of these shades just really worked a whole lot for me, or they weren't anything special. What shade did I end up keeping though? There were 5 shades. Let me see which one I decided to keep. This one in the shade Work, W-E-R-K. So that's the only one that I kept, and all the others I'm gonna just pass on. So Tarte came back out with these. They discontinued them for a couple years. They came back out with them, and I bought the 2 shades they came out with, which are Flush and Exposed. I'm still kind of playing around with Exposed, but Flush, first of all, is a mess. Like, it just gets in the cap like that, and it actually leaks. Let me wipe the end of this though. Okay, and then this shade is just not good for me. I just tried to wipe some of the shade off, and there, it's not good. It also gets blotchy if you try to, I mean, it's a mess. If you try to carefully put it somewhere, like on your face, again, it's one of those that kind of will pull up anything under it, and then also get blotchy since it does have a stain in it. Where you initially put it, it stays. It's hard to blend. So not loving that. I am getting rid of one of my Merit blushes in Raspberry Beret. Again, this is just like one of those sorts of purpley shades that do not look right on me. And another sort of like purpley shade. This is Glossier's Cloud Paint and Haze. That shade does not look right on me. This YSL Lip and Cheek Balmy Tint, and this is New Chills. Or maybe just in Chills. I think they were going for like that cold girl cheek situation with this. The shade doesn't look right on me. And then this one in Flush is just too red. There we go. And again, it's just too much. It doesn't look quite right on my complexion, which these can be used on lips too, but again, I have tons of lip products, so I'm not even gonna like waste my time with it. I found 2 more eye products that I'm decluttering. This first one is the Creme Shop. You can get this in drugstores. The formula of this, so I like the color, but the formula is very like silky and creasy. It doesn't set. So it's pretty, but it's kind of a useless product. So I'm getting rid of that. It's in the shade Croissant. And then this from Beauty Pie, this is in the shade Dough. It's the Velvet Veil. They only came out with this one shade ever, and it was in a kit with a makeup artist, Patty Dubroff. It's just kind of too gray for me, and it just doesn't look quite right. Which it looks great on her. She was a cooler sort of skin tone. But every time I've tried this on my eyes, I've just been disappointed. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that on. I liked the formula though, but for whatever reason, they never came out with more shades in that formula. Oh, and I do have this blush from Jones Road in the shade Bright Coral. I liked the blush okay, but again, I have other coral blushes, and if I had to choose between this and the Victoria Beckham in the shade Roller Skate, I'm gonna choose Roller Skate every time. So some lip products I am getting rid of. The first one is this lipstick in the shade French Tea. It came in that Lancome set. I did a whole video on it. But this shade, again, it just doesn't work with my coloring. And I know I could probably add like some lip liners and some glosses to kind of bring around. I don't want to have to work to make my makeup work when I have so much makeup anyway. Like, I don't need to do that. This is from Peri Para, and it's just kind of like that purpley sort of shade. It's like a purpley mauve shade, which those don't look good on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that on while it's only been swatched on the back of my hand and not put on my lips. This from L'Oreal, I actually love this formula. It's, I think, what do they call these? Like they're, it's kind of like a gloss stain situation, whatever these things are. This one though was kind of a pale pink, which kind of washed me out a little bit, but I did keep the shade, this shade, which as you can see is kind of like a more subdued beige color that has a little bit of a peach undertone. This just works way better for me. I'm getting rid of this Nude Sticks lip and cheek pencil in the shade Purity. I'm just not going to use that. I have this lip pencil from Beauty Pie in the shade, what is the shade? nude to go. Every time I've tried to use that, just the coloring is off. It's not quite right. This NARS pencil in Cruella, I had a couple of other like red lip pencils and like red lip products. So I kind of put them head to head and color, like comparing all the red colors just to see. And this leans, it's like a strawberry red. So again, one of those like sorts of like cooler blue toned reds, and it's just not for me. And then you guys might be surprised, but I'm getting rid of this Lisa Eldridge lipstick. I don't like the formula. It makes my lips look dry and crusty. This is the shade Velvet Fawn. I mean, look how beautiful the lipstick is. It's very beautiful. I just hate this formula. I might end up liking some of her other formulas more, but I'm definitely going to sanitize this and pass it on. This from Mented Cosmetics. It's kind of like a russet kind of shade, and I do tend to wear these in the fall, but I have others as well. So for a color that I only wear like maybe once a year, it's kind of silly for me to keep multiples of it. And then I only have 2 eyeshadow things that I'm getting rid of. This first one is this Revlon thing here, and this is in the shade Not Just Nudes. I never reach for this. It does make a very pretty eye look, but I have so many other like cream shadows like from Tom Ford and the MAC and some Charlotte Tilbury and things like that, that I'm never going to reach for that over those. And then I have this from Suq, which is actually a brand that's relatively hard to get here in the States. Like you have to order it from, you know, the UK. And their shadows are actually great quality, but this just leans too purple for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that on to somebody else. And then one complexion product, actually I guess 2. The first one is the Ilia. I just filmed a Get Ready With Me. And this Ilia foundation, my face itches a little bit right now, I'm not gonna lie. Then also it looked a little bit blotchy in areas. And I was looking at it and it literally expired January 2023. So it was just time to let it go. And then this Bare Minerals powder duo, you kind of have like the glowy side and the matte side. It did not look good. I tried to force myself to use it this month, and the powders just, I don't know. I have other powders. They weren't doing it for me. So, I mean, they do go kind of clear. It was a blush that I had put the glowy powder over to set, and then my whole face looked bruised because it was white and kind of a shimmery, and the blush looked less vivid, and then it just kind of dulled it and made it almost look like a bruise on my cheek. So again, that's all of that. So I'm gonna put all of this away, and then we will go through and put together this month's makeup bag. All right, so I just went through and I took pictures of the insides of all of my makeup drawers so you kind of know what I'm dealing with. And last month I think I did go through drawer by drawer, but first I want to start off with kind of going through in different videos I'm doing this month. So this will kind of give you kind of like an inkling as to the videos that I'm going to be doing this month, and pulling out some things to use a little bit more. So I'm obviously not going to pull out everything because I may already like be very familiar with these products and I can pull them out for the videos, but the things I really want to focus on for the videos and try a little bit more, I'm going to pull out. And then also I want to pull out some things that I'm kind of on the fence with, similar to what I did last month, and a lot of those you just saw in this declutter. So first I am going to go into the foundation drawer and pull out 4 foundations. So I have so many foundations that I've essentially decided that once a week I'm going to do a video reviewing a foundation. Like I just bought it. Some of these are newer to me, but I'm going to review one foundation every week like it's brand new to me. Going to use it every day, multiple ways, and do a review on it. And the reason I'm doing that is partially for myself, but then also like I've noticed that when I'm curious about a foundation, or really any products in general, I find that a lot of videos now are more focused on just showing you the product and to get you to buy it really quickly. And there's not really a whole lot of like good information anymore. Like I remember I used to be able to go to TJ Maxx and, you know, look at their makeup and not even have to open the box because I could do a Google image search and I could find like tons of swatches and different lighting for those products. And now that people aren't blogging as often and people aren't doing videos kind of focused on individual products like that, I find that it's harder for me to find good swatches. And it's hard for me to find actual information on products other than like a quick TikTok saying like, this is the best thing they've ever tried and that's it. So I'm trying to do what I want other people to do and hopefully it catches on. So anyway, we're gonna grab those foundations. So the first one that I am trying to review this month is from Chanel. And so and again, I've already filmed this video like a month ago and did a wear test. And then I have no idea what I did with the footage because I'm the worst. So I'm gonna do it again and I'm gonna do all that same stuff. So this week coming up, probably tomorrow will probably be my first day, which is Sunday. I'll start wearing the Chanel Sublimage. So let me find it, here it is. So we're gonna pull this one out first. Also this month I want to do a Dior foundation. So I have two Dior foundations and actually they both look a little bit deep for me right now, but this one in 1.5N is probably closer to my tone. And then this one in 1N leans super, super, super orange. So orange to the point that I actually had to add quite a bit of blue pigment and I just added it in the whole bottle, but this formula seems a little bit weird. And so it's closer to my tone now, but this matte formula seems to oxidize like a ton. And so I'm gonna put some here on the back of my hand here, just like a little bit more. And as we sit throughout the video, I will show you. So this is a healthy swatch of it here. Doesn't look too bad. And we're just gonna let it sit and dry. And it gets like so dark. I put it on my face the other day thinking I looked great. Went and ran some errands and I came home and it almost felt like I had brown face. So again, I don't know which one I'm gonna review, but I have like a whole like Dior week planned where I'm gonna be talking about their fragrances, doing a full face of Dior. So I'm gonna play around with these and try to do the one that makes the most sense. Like when I go to work and I'm getting ready for work and I'm doing these wear tests, I'm actually like going to my regular job. So I want to look as good as I possibly can. And hopefully I'm able to achieve that even with either of these. I love this one, by the way. The problem is this one, which is their face and body equivalent. Okay, so then speaking of face and body, I am going to do MAC. So I want to pull out their face and body, which if you're curious, I have the shade C1. And then the last one, actually this brings me a little bit into March, but I will be filming it still in this month, and it's the Lady Gaga foundation. Well, it's House Labs. And it's this one, which is a pain in the ass to get a match for. Like the cools lean warm, like, I don't know. But I sat in with the Sephora employee trying to get a perfect match for me, and this is as close as they were able to get, and I'm still not sure it's a good match because I haven't used it. So we're gonna be trying that one out at some point this month. Also, are you seeing how this is getting darker? All right, so now that the foundations are out of the way, I am gonna pull out my Viseart eyeshadows. Somebody had requested when I did like the whole, I think haul talking about them, that I actually do a dedicated video to Viseart eyeshadows, and that I talk about the ones that if I were to just maybe purchase one or two, the ones that I would purchase. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out. So here are the Viseart shadows that I have, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put those in there. And so for the most part, everything else that I'm going to be talking about this month, I'm already pretty familiar with those products. So I'm going to go through now and just pull out things that I either want to give more attention to, or things that I am debating on decluttering or not, or if there are similar items, maybe I can pare them down. So I guess I will be going drawer by drawer now. So in the top drawer, which is my lip drawer, when I just did the whole get ready with me video, I kind of complained a little bit about these. So maybe I'll pull them out and do a dedicated video. But these are those sorts of lip balm lipstick products that a lot of luxury brands do. And I happen to have some from Pat McGrath, Dior, and Chanel. And I just don't get it. So I'm going to play around with them, do a little bit of research on them, find out their actual purpose, because they are not for people with chapped lips. I can tell you that now. So I'm going to play around with those and probably do a video on that. All right, so my next drawer are my single shadows and my cream shadows. And what I want to pull out and play with are my Tom Ford cream shadows. So I have this first one right here in Naked Bronze, which I've actually been using quite a bit lately and I've been enjoying. So I guess I'm just pulling this out because I like it. But then also I have a couple in pots. Well, that's in a pot too. But I do have like the sorts of singles in pots. And this first one I think is discontinued, but I really love the shade and I just need to get more use out of it. And it's Abyssinian, I believe is what it's called. So I'm pulling that bad boy out, and then I have Platinum and I have Opal. So I'll be playing around with those a little bit this month. And I'm gonna pull out this Jones Road shadow in, like, I guess it's a sparkle wash, and So Pretty. So I got this free with a gift when I ordered from Jones Road. It wouldn't be something that I would typically buy on my own, but it actually is quite pretty, but I just don't know if I'm going to use it a lot. So while it's still relatively fresh, I'm going to play around with it and then possibly get rid of it if I just find that I probably won't be using it a lot. The next drawer is the eyeshadow palette drawer, and I think since I have those Viseart palettes pulled out, and I also have a video about Dior eyeshadows planned for this month, that I'm just gonna go ahead and leave them alone. I think I have plenty to play with and work with for the month. So I'm not pulling anything out of that drawer. The foundation drawer, I'm not pulling anything from that either, just because I already have 4 foundations that I'm gonna be playing with. But I guess also I should probably pick a couple of powders to mess around with. So I'm gonna pick this Hourglass Veil powder. It's like a translucent loose setting powder, but it has like a little bit of a sheen to it. And you know what? That's it. Like, that's all I'm gonna pick out of there for now. So I typically do not pull from my mascara, concealer, like brow drawer. So all of that stuff is just gonna stay where it's at, because if I need the concealer or the brow product or whatever, I just reach in and grab it. So I don't pull from that drawer for my basket, but I'm having a very hard time opening and closing this cream blush drawer. So I'm on a mission to downsize. So let me pull out a couple of things that I wanna just kind of test this month. Okay, so I think I'm actually going to test these Beauty Pie cream blushes and these NARS ones. I find the formula to be very similar, kind of like a whipped texture. So I'm gonna play around with these and possibly declutter some of them. All right, and then jumping into the bronzer and highlighter drawer. This drawer is an absolute mess. But I do kind of want to pull out a few things that I haven't been using recently. So there are some things that I just kind of gravitate to if I don't know what to use. And that's essentially been this MAC highlighter and this Ulta bronzer. Like, these are kind of my go-tos for powder. But ones that I haven't actually been reaching for have been these large Marc Jacobs ones. So I'm going to pull them out. I have 2. I have 104 Tantastic and 102 Tantric. So I'm going to pull these out because the brand doesn't even exist anymore. If I don't like the way they look on my skin, I can part with them. And then there are 2 more that I kind of want to like test just to see if I want to get rid of them. And this first one is from Lila B. I bought it again upon the suggestion of Alana Davison. And I mentioned it in the Declutter that I got that orange blush thinking it's gonna look amazing on me. I'll pop a picture of her on the screen right here, and I have no idea. We're not the same color palette. She has like light eyes, light hair, her skin tone's completely different. I think I like her whole aesthetic and the way she applies makeup but I do not have the same coloring as her. The stuff that she uses more than likely will not work on me. So I have this and the coloring, it just goes very sort of peach. And here it is. So I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it and see if I wanna keep this. And then I have this, which is on the opposite side of the spectrum. And this goes like pinky gray. And this is from Milani. And I'll put it next to it. And there it is. Also, that is the Dior foundation. Look how dark that has become. Which I'm definitely probably just gonna have to do the other foundation and then play around with this one in the summer when my skin can actually hold up to that. That's like pretty dark. And out of the highlighter drawer, I just want to pull out this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Highlight 01. If I am going to use this any time of year, it's going to be now where my skin is at its palest. So I need to use it, and if I love it, keep it. If not, get rid of it. All right, so I'm back. I know lighting and everything looks differently. I've been gone for about 4 hours. My camera overheated, and I just decided to go out and grab some sushi, do a little bit of shopping, and now I'm back. So we're gonna go ahead and finish making my monthly makeup basket here. So I'm gonna pull it back over here. And the drawers that I still needed to go into, I believe I was in the bronzer highlighter drawer. So let's jump into that and pull out a few more things, because I think, you know, I pulled out like 3 bronzers, 4 bronzers. So I think I'm probably okay there. And I pulled out 1 highlight. I'm gonna maybe grab another. And I'm gonna get something that I find to be kind of similar to the Laura Mercier, not only because of the time of year and how these are lighter, and so I think they'd work better on my skin tone now, but also in the kind of kind of finish that they have. So this is the Laura Geller Baked Original Highlighter Duo in French Poodle. This also has like a really soft sort of highlighty texture where it's not like super shiny. Like right now, I'm feeling like this is pretty shiny. It's like settled on my face for a while. So we have that. And then I want to grab this one from Essence. And so this is a little bit darker, and usually when I use this, it's in the summer because it is darker. But I think I can still kind of pull it off now. And it still kind of has that satin finish. And then maybe I should grab just one for good measure that has a more shimmery finish. I took them out last month, and I might have played with them once or twice, the Makeup by Mario, and I'm still not sure if I like these because I only used it once or twice. So I'm gonna pull out this one and kind of play around with it. So that's enough for bronzers and highlighters. And now I want to jump in and take a peek at the face palette drawer. So I bought this quite some time ago and haven't used it a whole lot. So I'm going to pull this Dior highlighting palette out. And then I have this NARS face palette. And I think this was my first NARS face palette I ever got. And it comes with the bronzer, kind of a contour, a matte highlight, and then 3 blush shades. And I'm just gonna pull this out and kind of see if I still like the way it looks on my skin. I remember liking it more in the summer, especially these 2 shades here. But then these 2 shades I find to be lighter and might be better for winter months because they are so light. And then if I just find that like these tones don't work for me, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. And here's the thing, my skin and my tones are essentially the same as what they were before, but I think that I've really just honed in on what complements my skin, and my preferences have also changed since then. And this is getting older, so there's really no sense in holding on to it if it's not really doing what I want it to do on my face. So anyway, that is everything in my January makeup basket, and you can expect to see lots of videos regarding this stuff, and you will see anything that I decide to get rid of in next month's makeup basket when I do a declutter. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.